Hey, what's up guys, Rev here. So today we're going to look at a couple of different VTuber related stories, but we're going to start with FaZe Connect member Pippa Pipkin. She found herself in an odd situation yesterday when this YouTuber with a pretty big following posted this tweet, and of course implies that the woman in the photo is Pippa, which is strange because like many other VTubers, Pippa is anonymous. In fact, the only body parts she's ever posted on the internet are her hands with her hand cam streams and her feet, which is something I'm sure some of you degenerates will be putting in your Google search bar after this video is over. But she's obviously not posted this much. And even though the face is censored, this is still a lot to see for someone who is anonymous. So a lot of people immediately were debunking this post in the replies. You had literal investigators going in there and doing side-by-side profile comparisons of her hands compared to Pippa. But honestly, I didn't need all of that. Like, this girl looks way too clean to be Pippa. I mean, have you seen her keyboard? That thing is like a whole ecosystem. It's a petri dish. Like, forget a conspiracy with a lab in Wuhan. Like, I'm pretty sure her keyboard was the original site of the coronavirus. Like, it's pretty bad. But obviously, this leads to a very strange situation where either this YouTuber posted her photo without her consent, or he posted a random girl and pretended it was Pippa for really no reason at all, which are both weird situations. And of course, Pippa would come out and say, Jesus Christ, this is not me. Please don't post things like this about VTubers. It creates privacy issues, and for people in a company, it could create legal issues, which I don't really have to explain why that's so correct, because anonymity is really important to VTubers, especially agency VTubers like Pippa. But here's the thing. I could be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think Pippa and this YouTuber are like super close friends. That's why this whole thing is kind of weird. And from looking at their interactions, really the only thing I could find was an interview this YouTuber did with Pippa on his channel pretty recently. And here's the thing, there is a clip from that interview that I think explains this whole situation and will also explain the next tweet we're going to look at. So let's check out that clip.
You think it's your fault for looking a little too fruity, maybe?
Why you gotta say that? It's not the mustache, right? Is it the mustache?
Somewhere between the mustache and the hair.
The hair, it's normal. The hair's normal.
But like paired with the mustache?
Oh, now so what am I supposed to have as hair then?
I don't know, something less gay?
All right. Well, damn, thank you. I appreciate the advice on my hair. Something less gay, maybe.
So yeah, I think he's a little bit salty after being called fruity by Pippa, but nonetheless, he would go on after a lot of VTubers were pretty outraged over his tweet. He would come out and make this apology saying he doesn't understand the culture and didn't mean any harm and blah, 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 blah. Now, this was the point where I was like, you know what? This is a weird situation, but I don't think it's anything crazy. I don't really know if I'm going to talk about it in a video because it just, it seems like it had an end, right? And maybe this dude was just posted a little bit of cringe. Maybe he was high or drunk or something and posted cringe. We all post cringe, right? But once again, another round of internet sleuths finding a coded message in the replies. So there are random capital letters, even mid-sentence. And if you circle all of them like this person did, it spells out FaZe is gay, which of course is referring to FaZe Connect, the agency that Pippa is a part of. So yeah, that kind of confirms it in my head. I think this guy's a little salty about being called fruity by Pippa. But nonetheless, I don't think this guy's like a terrible person or anything. Like, it's just a weird situation. I thought it was worth looking at because this whole topic of VTubers and anonymity and keeping their identity private is a very important one. And it really reminds me of this situation. This happened about 2 weeks ago. It's not something I covered on this channel, but a lot of other VTuber news channels covered this. This was an example of impersonation and identity being a very real threat and weapon for people trying to harm VTubers or take advantage of them. So about 2 weeks ago at Off-Kai Expo, the VTuber clipper Cooksy was impersonated by a random person. Now, of course, Cooksy has never shown his face or his physical appearance in any sort of a way, so this was a very achievable con to run here, right? Nobody knows what he looks like. Anyone can just walk in and say they're Cooksy, and people will likely believe it, because who in their right mind would impersonate some random VTuber clipper at a convention like this? But nonetheless, this guy made a shirt with Cooksy's profile picture on it, went to the convention, interacted with a whole host of VTubers, and actively acknowledged when asked that he was Cooksy. And it even fooled VTubers like Fillion, who were interacting with him at Off-Kai Expo. So this just goes to show identity is a big deal in this space. And Cooksy is one of those people who is a very large clipper channel and is very well respected. And he holds a lot of clout because being featured on his clip channel can get you a lot of attention as a content creator. So if someone was working with bad intent, pretending to be Cooksy, they could probably get a lot of things out of people. And there's a whole host of things you could use that clout to get, right? And there's some darker versions of that. You know, the kinds of things people will do for clout or some sort of a promise to be featured on his channel. Luckily, this dude is like the goofiest goober I've ever seen in my life. He is literally negative Riz. He has the Riz of a corpse. Like, he's getting an extra side of goober sauce on his milkshake at the goddamn Weenie Hut Juniors, okay? Like, this guy is not risen up anybody at the convention. But nonetheless, it was just a very odd situation and shows how important anonymity and your personal identity is in the VTuber community. It's not just VTubers, apparently it's VTuber clip channels as well. But we're going to move on to another set of stories. This happened only a few hours before recording this video. The VTuber from Nijisanji's English division, Nina Kosaka, will be graduating. This was just announced by Nijisanji, and this was a pretty big deal. A lot of people are upset about this. They are very sad to see her go. She is a very beloved member of Nijisanji. And yeah, this caught people by surprise, and it's another L for Nijisanji. I mean, this might have just been a neutral parting of ways over time, but man, they are losing some of their top talents left and right this year, and it's just been a rough one for Nijisanji. But of course, we always feel bad for the talents involved, but we don't really feel bad for their management, given all of these scummy things they've been up to. But she would go on to make a nice post here explaining the situation. No fine details as to her reason for leaving, but she will be doing a final graduation stream on Friday, July 7th. So if you're interested in that, make sure you are there. So moving on from that, another update involving the Gundo situation. This is something I covered in a video about a week ago. She was a popular member of their Japanese branch, and she was graduated pretty recently, and a lot of people pretty much tied this entire situation to a series of tweets she made while watching the World Baseball Classic, which was a collaboration event that Nijisanji did with that event. And people trace it back to this series of tweets where one tweet in particular, during her live reaction, insinuated that, or at least asked the question of whether or not the pitcher could throw the ball, could throw their pitch at the head or body of the batter if they feared the batter was too strong. This wasn't some nefarious or hateful thing she was saying. She simply doesn't understand baseball and was making a joke based on her observations. But nonetheless, the baseball fans in Japan were very angry about this, and Any Color stock immediately plunged after that event, and they soon graduated her about 2 weeks later after her month-long suspension stemming from those tweets. Well, a lot of people have looked at this announcement from Nijisanji. They posted this a couple of days ago. It's another big baseball collaboration, and this comes only days after Gundo's graduation. A lot of people are saying, well, isn't this funny timing that they are now doing a large event featuring a collaboration with baseball teams in Japan? I think it goes to show that that was a big image problem for them. That baseball tweet angered a lot of people, and Any Color just, well, gave in. And as you can see, much like any other talent who graduates, her account is now private. And that will be the same fate for our friend over here, Nina Kosaka, who will be having all of her accounts privated, which is something I just really hate about agencies. But unfortunately, that's the way it is. So if you want to get any of her stuff, you should go get it, download it now, and make sure you keep it before it all goes private. But that's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please share all of your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.